Merry Christmas!
I'm waiting for you to go,
It's time!
That wasn't awful,
That
actually.
wasn't horrendous. It was not as high as I wanted to go, but...
Guys, happy Christmas. If you're listening today, you are our favourites because you're listening on Christmas Day and we filmed an episode ready for Christmas Day.
We hope you're having the most amazing Christmas Day. Ho, 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 ho. I hope it's filled with love and joy and engagement rings. Oh my God, imagine if someone's got engaged.
Congrats.
And this is your, first episode.
Congratulations.
Oh my God.
But also,
I know, but I don't. Let's give it 2 more minutes. Hold on. Okay. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope you're getting presents. I hope your stockings are full. I hope the turkey's in the oven or your meat alternative. I hope the fire is on, and I hope you have the most amazing day in the world. But that is not what we care about today.
well, we do, but...
No, I don't care about it today. It is my pleasure and privilege to say that this is our 100th episode. 100 episodes. I know that doesn't feel like sometimes I say it and it doesn't feel like many, and then other times I say it, I'm like, that's loads. Can you remember we did a clip once that was like, most podcasts don't reach it past 21, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So by getting to the 22nd episode puts you in the top 1% of podcasts ever. So I think we're in the top 0.01%.
And on that note, I think we should roll the intro and maybe ask Brian really nicely to put some of our highlights in.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome
The Unfiltered Bride podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
so you know it's going to be juicy.
He was being breastfed by his mum.
Sorry, what? Why would you marry a man that's getting bitten?
Well, I don't think she knew that was what was happening.
One last. Why is his mum still producing milk?
Don't wear white to someone's wedding.
Just don't do it.
Someone shouted out, like, is there a doctor? And someone was like, it's too late, he's already gone.
What?
But the band thought that they meant that the sound guy had gone. Oh my God, they were freaking, like, literally people were like sobbing and hyperventilating.
Is she looking out for me or just being a bitch?
Cheeky cow. Cheeky cow. I think it's the way I think the fact that she said, I think you should spend a bit more money. She's made it about the money.
Tell me about your wedding.
Oh, it was a shit show.
Was it?
So 900 RSVPs came back in.
Jesus. Do you know what? Even if I paid people, I don't think I could get 900 people at my wedding.
Right? Split it across 3 rooms because the ballroom sits 600, then the 200 and the 300. 1,400 people turn up.
Shut up.
Who does that on the day? Because what you don't want is it to expect it to happen
And no one knows
and
whether-
it
yeah.
just doesn't happen.
Do you always send a light in text?
Yeah. we'll
People
always
think that
have.
is wild, don't they? Like, some people are like, I need someone to control
It's the
the
most
light.
important
And I'm
thing.
like,
My go-to saying is the dirtier the dress, the better the wedding. That's how, which is
If
probably
you've got a
anti
clean
you.
dress if you've got
Okay,
a clean
good.
dress at the end of the day,
What a
you've
boring
not
day.
allowed it. You shouldn't look at your dress to try and resell it. You should look at your dress that you own it, you love it, you wear it, and you enjoy it.
You want to look your best. You're fully aware that all eyes are on you, and like you said, like these moments and memories, like these wedding day pictures, they're going to be looked at forever.
Yeah. It makes me like emotional, I think.
I don't know how I've put up with you for so long.
I am proud of us for getting through 100 episodes, I'm not going to lie. There's been some arguments.
Some of those arguments
throughout the
on the
days.
episodes were legit.
They were real arguments, guys.
I wanted to punch you in the face.
Yeah, I wanted to punch you in the face.
punch
as
your beard
well.
off. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
What has been your highlight over the last 100 episodes? And you're allowed 3.
3 highlights. Okay. Good question. Number 1 would be going to the BBC studios.
Yeah, that was
and speaking to
epic.
Sarah
That was
Davies,
pretty
because
cool.
actually I love her. And that was pretty early on.
Yeah, that was cool for us.
That was very cool for us. And like just even getting the little lanyard that was like BBC. That was really cool. Another highlight would probably have to be the tours. I think for me, the Birmingham tour will always be the most emotional one because we didn't really know what we were doing. We had no idea what it was going to be like. We didn't know what to expect. And then obviously when we did Unwritten, we didn't really think much of it. We were like, oh, we'll do the confetti cannons when that song's on and we knew the beat and blah, blah, blah. Never did we expect everybody to kind of crowd around and sing that song like that loud. So the tours will be that for me. And then it's tricky, isn't it? I'm trying to think of like episodes that have really stuck with me. We've done some episodes that I've just really enjoyed doing the episode. Like I enjoy recording every one, but there's some that we finish and we're like, that was a really good episode. I enjoyed that. What was the latest one we did? Was it winter weddings that we felt like that? We were like, oh, that was fun. I'm going to throw that back to you, Beth. What are your 3 highlights? And you can't do the same.
Okay. I think one of the key highlights, I think, is we went into this not knowing the outcome. We have caused a stir in the industry, good and bad. People like it, people don't.
Who doesn't?
But I think one of the highlights is when people genuinely message me like, thank you so much, you've helped me. Suppliers recognise it.
Yes.
And I think the community we've built is pretty epic. So that's one of my highlights. I'm out of breath.
She just ran down to see if our Burger King was there.
Treat yourself on an episode.
I wanted Prosecco. She was like, let's get Burger King. I did think of another one, but it's a weird highlight. Us being on the train between the London and Manchester tour.
You hated that train journey.
But it was a moment.
Yeah.
It was a pinpoint of like we're off the back of one tour, hanging, getting ready for the next tour. Like that was still cool.
I think, again, one of the tours, I won't talk about, Birmingham was very special to me as well, but I'm not allowed to use that one. But I think London, because my friends were there.
Yes.
And I remember us being announced on, and the roar in London was like it was big. And then my friend did a video and sent it me the next day and went, what the fuck is happening? And again, it was a pinch me and us moment at that point, because London was so busy.
London was bit like, and we, like Beth was saying, when we started this, genuinely, it's because I don't really remember the actual. Brian did his podcast and kept saying to me to do a podcast, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to sit and talk to myself, blah blah blah. You were talking about doing a podcast, and then I don't remember the bit where we were like, should we do it? It was never a real conversation. We were just like, should we do it?
We spent a lot of money,
and then spent the money, spent the time. Like we went back and forth with the name a lot. We went back and forth with all these different ideas of it, and then suddenly we're just sat at a table talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to 100 episodes.
It is insane. And I also think we've both grown individually as people. Like if you listen to us from episode 1 to now, 1 in our businesses, but just 2 as people, like we're both so different but still the same.
Yeah.
It's really weird to look
confidence, isn't it? It's
And then I think when we go to like the national wedding shows, people come up to us and like, oh my God, I listened to you, you've helped me with this, or talking. And it's not about people going, oh, we know who you are. It's people going, oh, this was my bitches from a bride when you spoke about this, or you don't know me but I know you. And like
there was that one, the one moment that always makes me the most emotional is when we did the national wedding show and a girl came over and she was with her mum originally, and we were saying her mum looked fantastic, and we were like, oh my God, and she was on about what she was wearing and blah blah blah, and we did all this thing. The girl then came back later and was talking to us, and she was like, I'm actually finding it really hard. My mum's lost a lot of weight, and now that's all she kind of really talks about. It's her whole personality, and I'm finding it really difficult. And we both said, look, you're at the national wedding show, go to the Prosecco bar, champagne bar, sit down and just have a genuine, honest conversation about it. And she messaged in after. She was really cried and everything. She then messaged after and was like, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did go and sit. I listened to your advice. I sat and talked to my mum, and we've both had a conversation about it, and we've found some real positives from it. And it feels like our whole relationship's changed. And that one just makes me always be like, oh my God, because all we're trying to do is help. I know we're trying to be funny, and we obviously
we just are.
We're just hilarious. What can we say? But we're just a girl. We're just girls, like just having a chat and hoping that it empowers you a little bit more for when you're doing your wedding, that you feel a bit more confident to do what you want to do. But it's so weird that it people listen and it helps.
Another favourite moment of mine was in Manchester, and again, we've created this really safe space unintentionally. Like it was never our intention or our goal to sit here and go, we want to create a community that's really safe and people can do what they like. We were in Manchester, and the girls got up one by one on this podium, like these girls would not have done that.
They don't know each other.
They don't know each other. And we're sexy dancing on we're sexy dancing on these podiums. Like we're letting
everyone
loose.
felt like a bride, but normally it's really like taboo that there's more than one bride in a place.
Stuck
Do you know what I
up,
mean? It's like,
it's...
and well, I'm getting married, but like that whole side of it is not the side we want. Whereas this one was literally like they were pulling each other up onto the podium to dance,
all taking turns. Like once you had your minute, you were kind of like up, like it was just.
It's nice that people are respectful of other people are getting married. You're not the only person in the world getting married. So rather than be bitter about the other people, how can we like bring everyone together?
So yeah, I think the community we've built and the helping and that's been amazing. But also it's just fun. Like it's hard work to film an episode every week, and it's even harder for Brian to edit every week. So shout out to Brian.
We'll come to you in a second, Brian, don't worry.
It wouldn't be what it is without Brian. And I think you all know that actually now, because some people have tried to do another podcast and they're like, God, the audio, the editing.
It's hard.
And there's nobody
we wouldn't be able to do it, just the two of us.
Still doing it. Like there's podcasts that have come and gone, and Brian's probably the one that champions us the most to get it done and film and keep going.
Well, we're lucky. We turn up, we have to chat to our mate for an hour, and then we leave it, and the next thing we know, it's on the episode, and we're like, oh, sweet, that was a really good clip. Like we write the descriptions for it, and we'll write the clips and stuff like that. But Brian is pains me to say it, the brains behind the whole thing,
the whole operation.
He's the one that is many a time had to be up till 1 a.m. making sure that it goes on. He is the one that makes sure we don't destroy our own businesses by keeping in anything that we shouldn't be saying.
Questionable.
He's the one that finds the funny clips that do really well on socials, which mean more people find us.
The podcast. And I also love the fact that you all love him now and you're so happy that he's got a mic, which we're not happy about, but it's okay.
Brian, would you like to say a few words?
What do you want, my highlights or?
No, I wanted you to.
Yeah, let's do your highlights.
I want your highlights, but I also want you to acknowledge how much of a part of this podcast you are.
Yeah, I don't like being in the front of it, so I was reluctant to have a mic to start with. Because I don't want
right. Begged me at home. Please let me. Please, Georgie. Please tell Beth that I want a microphone.
But yeah, I think you're right. Being consistent is the hardest thing with podcasting. Like I said at the tours, like most podcasts don't get past episode 3. Only 10% of podcasts get past episode 3, and then you're in the top 1% if you do. I can't remember the exact number.
I think we said 21 a minute ago.
21, yeah. So yeah, I mean, proud of you guys as well because you guys are stuck to it, and like we didn't do this. I mean, this was never about money. It still isn't about money.
Can we tell you all a secret? We've never taken a penny from this podcast. So I don't know if if you see that as a good thing or a bad thing, but I hope you all know that it's not a money thing. It's not a business move. It's not a business.
But a genuine reason, I think people can look at it from the outside and be like, oh, well, you know, they had 100 episodes. It must be financially beneficial. They must be making a load of money. But obviously, like, we're genuinely, nobody's taking any money from this podcast.
Brian doesn't get paid.
No, I do this out of my charity.
But it's like with the tour, like with that, it's like we have to pay for these venues. So your ticket price covers the venue, and we want to give you stuff like drinks and stuff like that.
But also the cameras, the light, like honestly, it's not a lie. We've never taken, the three of us have never taken a penny from this podcast. So I hope that makes you all feel a little bit more special, that it is genuinely for you guys.
It's authentic.
And we're just having a great time.
And because we're so unfiltered, a lot of the time we can't get sponsorship on here, so
we make no money.
Sorry, Brian, carry on.
What's your highlights, Brian? We want your 3 highlights.
I think one that Beth said, but the community, like from somebody who isn't in the wedding industry, to like go to, you know, any event that I go to, like wedding related event that I go to with you guys, like genuine people are like super passionate, and they're like genuinely thankful for what you guys do. It isn't just like, oh, I'm just going to put a podcast on. It's such an emotional thing for people when they get married, and obviously girls are more involved in that process than guys, and you know, it's good to see some guys talk to you guys too, but some girls can feel quite lonely in the process. I think people get quite like emotional when they come and see you guys, and they really are thankful. So I think like the community, and that was relayed nicely in the tours. I think it was clear that everybody was like buzzing to be at the tours. And hopefully the next like bunch of tours we do are going to be even bigger and better than that. But it was really cool to see that.
I'm crying.
I think the London tour was a big highlight for me because, like, I remember going outside to like just before we opened the doors, and the queue was fucking, it's really hard to describe what that was like, but the queue was like, I'm getting emotional.
Are you crying?
Oh.
Crying.
Aww.
Do you want to cuddle?
We're all crying.
Do you know what always makes me cry is that I'm desperate to bring Isla along to one of the tours to see it. So I'm trying to figure out how to get her to one of the other ones to just see, like,
even if it's just for the announcement.
I just want her there for the announcement to see us all do it, like see what it's for.
Because I think everyone also forgets that like Brian Georgie sacrificed so much of what they like their family life for, like, again, the tours. We were traveling around the country and like filming and going to London all the time to have guests and stuff on. Like, they sacrifice a lot, and Isla's obviously very proud, but obviously she misses out on seeing a lot of the cool stuff. But I mean, when she comes to the National Wedding Show and you're like, are you Isla?
I know.
She feels like the coolest kid alive.
Oh.
So anyway, but yeah, no, it's like
my Burger King ready.
but seeing all those people, I think for me was a big highlight. Like, oh shit, there's literally like 300 people queued up, you know, in some just a little venue in London that are all here to kind of like, to see you guys, but like also just to like come together. Like, who else is doing that? You know, like this, like, it's really cool. That was my highlight. But then actually Manchester was my favourite.
You
tour.
loved Manchester. Manchester was just a party for Brian.
Yeah, Manchester was cool. It was a proper vibe. So yeah, hopefully we've released the dates already when this episode comes out.
I'm so excited for the next one.
It's not about the money, but come.
Was that 3? Yeah, that was 3. I would like some highlights of Brian now. What's been my favourite bit was you being so Brian didn't want to be the host of the tours. Mm-hmm. He was like, no, it doesn't. But he's also very good at it, so we made him. But when we did, what song did we play for Brian? Too many men, 2 minutes.
And we were like, Brian.
And the amount of people that then like love it.
Yeah.
And you're the only person that can talk about it. Yeah. We can't have any other MC. Like, it just would never work. It's got to be Brian.
I know Beth just said about like people roaring stuff. London was fucking intimidating.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a stage. It was literally stood on a little
tiny,
so little on the like a tiny little London. Was it the function band? Like
the
little podium, and there was literally just a fucking sea of eyes looking. It was crazy.
I also think like you guys look at us as like we've got a bride and she's like, I've got the dream team, I've got you guys, I've got both of you together on a wedding, blah blah blah. Like, don't get me wrong, we feel even more pressure. Like, when you listen to the podcast, we're like, fuck, you know, like, we need to.
It scares me going to weddings, and I know you guys have listened to the podcast because I can see it. I can see it in the stuff that you've got out. I can see it in the Crafty Lab newspapers. I can see it in the suppliers that you've got. I can see it in the little details that you're doing, and for two people that. We just love weddings. We've only done weddings. That's all we've ever known and done. And they're so important to us. To see that you take the advice that we are giving because we genuinely believe it is so like special. Like, it's a weird feeling to see people enjoying something at somebody's wedding, knowing full well that we've helped you get to that, makes us just being a tiny bit involved in the biggest day of someone's life is insane. Like, magical.
Yeah.
And I don't like the word magical, but that's the only way I can describe it.
I like the word magical.
We have some messages from people. I haven't read any.
No, I haven't.
If you bring up the unfiltered ones, I'll bring up my ones, and I think we just read them, whether they're mean, nice, or somewhere in between.
I also think like we've been around and worked with some of the biggest players in this industry. Like, for example, like having Dan from the Function Band on our podcast.
That was massive.
Like for us, like we have like idols in the industry. Like the Function Band are the Function Band. Yeah. And the fact that they are willing to do our tours, come on our podcast, invite us into their homes. Like,
by the way, Dan's home is lovely.
But they value and respect what we're doing. Yeah. And same for like 615 and all these big players in the game. Like, we act big time, but like we've also got people like, and some of the amazing photographers that we work with that are actually coming on to tour with us next year.
These are ones that 3 years ago, if you said to us we were doing a wedding with them, we would have been like, oh my God, let alone them coming and doing a tour with us. Like, I wish I could bottle that feeling of what it felt like when we first started, because it's really hard to remember that feeling, because like we said, we've grown so much doing it. But it's just, I almost want to go back to episode 1 to feel that nervous energy. I feel like we need to play a bit of episode 1.
It makes me cringe. It's horrible. Okay, let's jump on the messages.
I'm going straight in my first.
Also, like a genuine thank you to like you guys listen week in, week out. You interact with everything we put up or anything we sell or any events or wherever we go. You guys
like even the little us. You guys look incredible in your dresses. You like, because we're just girls. Like, we have our insecurities and we worry about stuff and we overthink things, and just hearing you guys always be like, what you're doing is good is all we need. And
we've also had like our fair share of hate as well that we've had to battle through. As much as we laugh about it, like some of the times we've been like,
oh god, we have cried,
like, and that's horrible, and we still show up every single time for you guys. So it's like,
because you guys are really nice to us. That guy on TikTok can fuck off.
Are you ready?
Yep.
The first message is hilarious.
Oh.
I agree. I would not let my husband sleep in bed with Beth. She's too sexy. But I also feel like we have a really like you're like a bunch of friends to us. Like it is,
which is why when we do the tours and you guys. It's so surreal. It is so surreal when people have come over and been like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm eating. And I'm like, honestly, please don't picture us like that. We are very normal people that have ordered a Burger King down, like it's
which is going cold,
which again we are doing for you.
But I also think like
we're just mates.
Both me and Georgie haven't come from like massive friendship groups as well. Like we've not
small circles. So also like extending that. So we've like, again, a lot of you message us on our private pages and we'll happily sit and chat, and like that's how much we genuinely love it. So my first one says, I bloody love the podcast.
Mine says, I've been married 10 years and have nothing to do with weddings, but I love you guys.
Engaged in July and I've already listened to every episode. Planning saved.
Someone there said, thank you for being so honest and funny. You're both are true icons, not just in the wedding sphere.
Started listening in September. I get married October 2025. We've learned so much. Weddings are mind-blowing.
Love your honesty and decisiveness. Fuck the haters. So much of what you say is true.
Thank you. The weekly chat and inspo kept me sane during wedding planning. Still listening.
I look forward to my run every Wednesday. Headphones in, Unfiltered Bride podcast on.
I'm so glad I found your podcast so helpful. Such helpful tips and funny stories.
You guys have given me so much confidence when planning my wedding. I love every episode.
Thank you, my dream wedding team, for being my fave start to every Wednesday.
And I listened to your podcast as I ran my first half marathon. Helped me through it, so thank you.
Like, this is the stuff that just, I can't even begin to think that is happening. That's like, remember that video of the kid dancing to the Unfiltered Bride podcast song?
Yeah.
Thank you for all the tips and the company on my way to work. Bring on the 2025 tour.
Oh, I can't wait for the tour. This is going to be epic, guys. John Taylor said, make it the last one. Sick to death of the pair of you clogging up my feed.
Fuck off, John
Jokes,
Taylor.
Well done. Love seeing you all smash it a little bit.
Thanks to your podcast, I learned about sound limiters and to keep perspective.
My mum said, your mother is very proud of you both. Oh, and Brian.
Ah. Watching your podcast has been a highlight to my wedding planning journey. Thank you.
Got married in June, but I still listen to the podcast weekly. Is this acceptable?
You started the podcast just as my daughter got engaged, and wed is now my favourite day. Cute.
I was hanging at
Oh my
work.
God, I've just realised we do it on a Wednesday. Oh, I never thought about that.
Good English, or smart.
Can we pretend that was always on purpose?
Yeah. Someone said, I was hanging at work after the Manchester tour, so thank you so much for that. Best night ever.
Couldn't plan a wedding without you lovely ladies.
Thank you a million. I got married on the weekend and it was magical. Yeah. You two are hilarious. I still listen. I got married 3 months ago. This is what I mean. I think people really don't come out of that wedding. It does become your personality.
If I had, when we got married, had something like this to listen to, I think it would have just, like somebody said, put everything in perspective a little bit, just calmed everything, because it's not talked about. Everything is so heightened, like everything feels 10 times worse than it is. You've got no one to talk to about it, you've got nobody to listen to talk about it. It just is such a like taboo world where no one's having open conversations. So to be able to listen to something where people are like, this is a sound limiter, this is normal, this isn't normal, this is expensive, blah blah blah, like, and this love Jen, the MUA, the way she spoke about loving your body is what we need to hear. Oh, okay. Someone said, I'd love to hear your opinions on some of the first few episodes to see if they've changed.
Yeah, we openly admit that we change our opinion on things. I'm
going to play the start of our first one.
Bethany, this is a pipe dream.
Let me try and
Episode 1.
God,
our voices.
God, it's a lot to scroll back through, isn't it? Do you guys start at the beginning? I hear so many people that start at episode 1. But when I speak to suppliers about it, like when we're talking on a wedding day and it'll come up, I'm like, don't go back to 1. Yeah. Like start now and then go back to just know that it gets better. Tips from the top table and beyond.
So you know it's going to be juicy. I really want to re-record that. I had such a cold on
Yeah,
that day.
I'm lispy.
I know, even picking that song, I remember picking that song.
Quick disclaimer before we start.
If you are easily offended.
Oh my God,
we sacked that off early, didn't we?
Then this podcast is not for you, so just scroll on by.
I'm going to pause. God. That was us worrying, being like, why people hate us? Why people like don't want to...
Quick disclaimer. Can you hear us?
I thought the best way to do it is that you introduce me and then I'll introduce you. Okay. Are we good?
I'm going to pause.
Introduce
Let's do
yourself.
it again.
Okay.
You introduce me, I'll introduce you.
I'm introducing you.
Yep.
How do I start it?
That's old you. This is new you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and raise the roof for your author.
Oh yeah.
Podcast host.
Yeah.
Wedding planning sensation, Mrs. Georgina Mitchell.
Mate, I wasn't even married when we first started this.
No.
Was I? I was.
Yeah.
Was I?
Just.
Was I?
Just married.
When did we start? February 2023.
I forgot. I need to add in cool mum.
Cool mum. Thank you. Wife. Okay, I'll do you.
Hoe bag.
This is Squarehead Bet. No, what do people call you?
Squarehead.
Squarehead.
No, I forgot to call me
Boffin. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding, but raise your glasses.
Oh yes,
you're
darling.
not a napkin. I'm a napkin. You're not. You're a glass. Raise your champagne coupe in the air and put your hands. Tap your hands on the glass
with your very expensive jewelry.
For your podcast queen, your luxury wedding goddess, your finer things in life, your branded clothing and real Uggs. One day a fiance.
Still not a
Come
fiance.
on, Jack, step up. An absolute funny. No, you never think you're funny, but you are funny.
Do you think?
Yeah, you just divert it over to me because I say jokes
you're
more than
witty.
you. But you're funny.
Nobody
would. You are. People wouldn't listen to the podcast if you weren't funny.
I'm not funny.
You are.
I'm easily offended. But I'll take it. Thanks.
You're poor at English, but here for a great time. Here for a great time, not a long time. It's Bethany Smith.
Woo, poor at English. Do you know what it is? I don't know. I think I'm maybe a bit dyslexic.
I think I'm a bit dyslexic.
It's all the creative people. It can't be everything.
I was speaking about ADHD the other day to some suppliers, and they were like, I just didn't realise I had it. And I was like, everybody who does this kind of job in the wedding industry has got a sprinkling of ADHD.
Enough,
yeah.
Should we introduce Brian?
Yeah. We'll back and forth.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen. Is he
Please stay standing.
Yes. Get on your chairs.
Yeah.
There we go. For your cap wearing.
Sexy husband.
Beatboxing.
I want to say flaring, but I don't know how to say
Flare.
it.
Flarer. Drinks expert.
Podcast editor and host.
Go and check out the Frugal Spender. Producer.
Great housewife, husband.
Amazing dad.
Oh,
That's not great.
Stop. Trendy as fuck.
Zara man.
Mr. Brian Mitchell.
Woo! That's where you say hello. Next year on your goals, it should be to speak with your normal voice, not your being
monotone.
cool voice. Yeah.
How many years has it been? What's 100 episodes? Is it
100 weeks?
100. Yeah. What's that? 2 years.
We're just short of.
Fucking hell. How has he edited our
Hold
voices?
on. Have we done this right?
Yeah, because we done it just after your wedding.
February. Yeah, but 52 plus 52, 4 weeks.
So 4 weeks after Christmas will be.
Oh, the start of February. I understand. Oh, so it's like the 1st of February we started.
Great at maths.
I'm trying to work out. Well, surely it would have been January, but no, it must have been the first week of February. Why did we do February? We weren't ready in January.
No, God knows. Oh, it's been a ride.
2 years. What else have we been doing in that 2 years? You've moved house.
I've moved house. You're about to move house.
We're about to move house. I've written a book. You've changed branding. You've changed the whole direction of etiquette.
Moving offices soon.
Oh, that's a new one. You guys didn't know about that.
Spoiler alert!
So the podcast is going to end.
I'm just
joking. Just kidding.
You've probably all seen it now, but our last photo shoot was amazing. How did we go 2 years with these horrible photos?
Let me compare for you guys the 2 photo shoots that we did. So first of all, shout out to Pat, who will always be with us throughout this journey. So he came when we were like, Pat, we got to do photos at the podcast corner of etiquette. We've got nothing here. We had nothing. There was nothing arranged at all. We bought some white hoodies. Have you still got yours? I don't even know what mine is. We had white
mine
hoodies.
got stained when we threw cake at each other.
Oh, yeah. Where did we get the cake from? I don't remember.
Sisu.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, Sisu made us a cake. We had confetti cannons, and we literally just said to Pat, can you take photos of us, please? They are not our finest photos, but they've been stuck around now for nearly 2 hours.
21
years.
events. Take the piss out of me for this. With my mouth open.
Yeah, we've got some questionable
Oh my
photos.
God, our launch.
Oh my God, I forgot.
That was amazing.
Let me take you back to the launch. So we are at, what's it called? Water's Edge. And we were like, let's just invite some people we know. We'll do it as a little bit of a launch. We'll get a bit of chat online. I wonder how much that helped. We didn't really ever acknowledge us. That was quite hard to plan. So we had like some drinks when people arrived, and we kind of did it so that people sat at tables and we just had a bit of a chat. Oh my God. We were so nervous.
We were so nervous. Young.
Had we even recorded an episode yet? Maybe we did one
because
or two.
Our episode had just launched then.
Yeah, it was on that day. So we then just kind of chatted about some things, and people in the audience then held up their cards to say whether they agreed or disagreed. But just before people had come, because we didn't sell tickets for it, we didn't know any people were coming. I text all of my friends to just be like, what are you doing tonight? Can you come along? Because I was so worried that no one was going to come.
Honestly, Dan came on well early.
Dan?
Yeah.
Function band Dan. He was like episode February, March, April, May. 4, 8, so like 60 within the first 20 episodes he was on.
Yeah, and he knew
from the start.
We had Coolio sponsor, we've had Crafty Lab, we've had Rich,
we've had Holly get
Orchard
involved
at
in
Munsley,
ring,
we've had Dan come on, we then went to BBC, and then we had Holly sponsor us. Then we saw Sarah Davies.
Well, our first episode, I remember our first episode coming out. I wish we could find it on our phones, but we were then obviously texting each other to say how many listens we had, and I remember it reaching 1,000 and we being like, what the fuck, like that's my so
different we look.
Let me see, look at you with your legs out. Oh, I'm so glad we're not on those sofas anymore.
Wait, what? Look at you.
Where am I? My hair is really long, isn't it? Oh God. What am I wearing? What are we wearing?
Then Brian came on, then we announced our tour.
We did. Can you remember when you were too ill to do an episode?
Yeah, that was after the tour when I think I got COVID.
Yeah. And we obviously, again, we could never miss an episode, so we had to get Brian to come on. Me and Brian talked about drinks, wasn't it? And being a husband and our wedding and stuff like that.
I was so poorly.
We've had Isla on an episode.
We went on Talk 20's podcast.
We went on their podcast.
We did WedX, we did the National Wedding Show, then we got dressed up in wedding dresses.
Oh yeah, I loved that one.
We then went and filmed with Arj.
Yeah, we went to
Essex.
Sheesh. That was a eye-opening experience, wasn't it?
And then we had Patty P on.
Yeah.
God.
Our plan for next year, guys, is we want more guests on. I'm definitely getting my dad on. I think he needs to come and give us what it's like being a dad. What?
Oh my God, we just received the loveliest message.
What?
I feel like I've grown with you both whilst listening to podcasts, from fiance to bride to wife and now mum. I still listen every week and love it just as much as I did episode 1. Thank you for bringing me joy every week as I escape the world for an hour. Oh my God!
Spend this whole episode crying.
Stop it, guys.
We forget that 2 years is a long process. I had
someone said, when I got engaged, when I got engaged, your podcast filled the obsessive wedding hole, so I wasn't annoying everyone by constantly banging on about my wedding 24/7. I binged every episode, and it was like my own little wedding obsessed chat, and it's been so useful because I didn't know the first thing about planning a wedding.
Somebody has messaged saying, typing here as my message is too long. Thank you both for creating this podcast. It kept me sane during wedding planning, gave me the best pre-hen do at the London tour date, and gave me Beth as my coordinator through Georgina Rose events, who made my day so special.
Who's this?
Cassandra.
Ah, Cassie!
The podcast feels like a catch up with mates, so I will continue to listen for even as a wifey. Congrats on the 100 episodes, and hope there'll be many, many more to come.
I love that wedding, Cassie and Xander.
The amount of weddings we've been through and talked about on this episode, and dramas we've talked about.
We got a shout out in the speech.
Is it?
That's the one we got shout out in the speech.
I did one where they talked about the podcast, the groom did, and I was literally stood there like it was a paragraph of the speech at the end, and I was like, bro, put your wife at the end. Like I stood there like, and he was like, the podcast, you naughty girls that keep my wife sane, blah blah blah, and I was like, but that's the thing, we go to weddings, people come up to us at weddings that are like, oh my God, I listen to your podcast every week. My mum listens with me, and then we have a call afterward. Like, people ring each other after an episode to talk about what we've talked about.
It's when I come up, there's a girl called Maddie, and her mum always come up and she's like, you don't know, we listen all the time. And I'm like, guys, she's like, I've learned how to be a good mum for like wedding planning and stuff like that. So it's just a really, really, really amazing feeling.
Because we sit here, the three of us, we're just sat in a little room.
It's not that little room.
No, but like in our little corner I know, sorry. In our little corner, and we chat, and then we go home and it comes on and we get some messages and things like that. But when we see
not
people
scripted at all, like this is like, we ain't got time to script this.
There's no script. I might message Beth and say, by the way, we're going to talk about this topic. Have a think. We need you guys to send us what else you like. What do you want from next year? What do you want from us? Because we are here for you. We are at your disposal. I think at some point we have to go back and talk about all the things we've talked about, because 2 years is massive. Like, things change.
How do we say that to people though? Be like, hey, things have changed now. Come to episode 120.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing you carry on listening.
Going to get a bride on. Definitely going to get a groom on.
Definitely.
I'd like to get a mother-in-law on.
I can't ask mine. My mum would come on. Yeah. My mum was a nightmare at my wedding because she'd broken her wrist. Like the day, literally Christmas Day, she broke her wrist. Lol. Yeah. So she was just drugged up at my wedding. That was fun.
Yeah. So we've got some really exciting stuff planned for next year, and obviously we've got the tour. We've got some bits that you might be able to buy.
We've got some good people lined up already, actually. I've got 3 guests ready for us next year, which we can then, again, we want you to, the whole point is for you to learn, so we want to bring on people that maybe have different opinions to us, so that we can grill them a little bit as well and be like, why does this happen, like all of those sort of things. I feel like we need to go to some more venues. Should we go and do some more of those? I'm still putting it out there that we want to do one on a cruise.
Absolutely.
We want to record an episode on a cruise, and therefore me, Beth, Brian and Jack have to go on the cruise.
Now Isla.
I don't know what. Oh.
Isla can be our mascot.
Yeah. She'd love that. So I was going back to listen to more of episode 1.
Like what it's built up to be now, and just a bit of everything. Basically, someone who you're listening to's advice, you want to know where their backgrounds come from, really? Yeah. Who am I? Who is this girl, and why should I listen to her? Tell us. Basically.
I don't know why you're we sound exactly the same.
I can hear it in our voices that we're nervous.
So Etiquette was built, as you know, about 3.5 years ago.
Sorry, where's your Gloucester voice? Etiquette.
I can't.
I've been in the wedding.
Let me go further on.
And you do as well. That if you don't have the right vibe with us, we don't connect. It's a 2-way relationship. We invest.
This is Beth constantly telling you that if she doesn't like you, you're not doing the wedding.
I still say that to this day, actually.
What a year,
mate. I will say it. I am happy for a bit of self-love. We've absolutely smashed it. 2022.
All right,
was
big
a
Ed.
pretty epic year.
I'm saying that. How many weddings did I do in 2020? What the fuck were we doing in 2022? We're doing that and this now. Bless you, Georgie, thinking that we were big time then.
best.
Yep.
We did a lot.
A lot.
How many days off did you have last year?
0.
Oh.
I nearly lost my relationship.
Still the same.
I lost a lot of staff.
You did.
Still the same.
Still the same.
2022. Incredible
tough
year.
and good.
Tough and good. I think the postponements.
Of course, I forgot COVID.
I think we were. I don't know exact numbers, but we were looking at 300 odd. So yeah, big wedding, big operation. We don't normally do that many, but it was the postponements, and again, that's really difficult for.
You don't want to let people.
Do you want to know how many I do now?
Their wedding is
4.
Like 50 tops.
I think 2022 I did about 80, whereas the company this year will finish on 150.
Yeah, fuck that.
I think I finished the year on 92.
What have you got next year?
Still, the company should still be doing 150, but I won't be doing as many. I've got a new girl starting in January to go next to my lovely Charlotte. And also, that's been a big thing for me this year. Like, Charlotte, I know you listen. You better listen. Has massively helped.
Yeah.
Like, having someone that, first of all, can help me actually do weddings, but also the team that I've built with you, with Hannah, with Kat. Like, we've got our Christmas party next week. And it's the first time that we'll sit together at a table and actually be like, oh my God, like we've done a year.
All your brunette babes.
All my brunette babes.
Is
I need
Brian
a picture.
coming?
Of course Brian's coming. Of course he is. Part of the team. But I'm excited for even more weddings. But
I can't wait for
do as
someone
many.
to ask us what that dynamic is this table is.
Yeah.
Hairdressers.
What is this?
Hairdressers.
100%. Or we can say wedding planners, but Brian's in charge. Brian's the boss.
much as I cared about every other
I want to
one.
get to the end to see how we ended it.
Oh my God, your muscles are so big.
Still being a flirt.
They're doing a little two-step on it. And it just ruins your whole night. And I
Yeah,
think that
true.
would be the same context when you
Did we do a
plan
bit
wedding.
for a ride?
Or if you really like them, just don't involve him.
You're savage though.
Depends
Savage as
what,
usual.
Supplier it is.
I made Brian do every meeting with me. Just so that he could never say to me, you did all this without me.
Still being on above it, right?
No, that's good for me because, to be fair, I think I get about a 50-50 split.
Of
the
people
guys.
involved. And I sometimes go to a wedding and have never spoken to the groom. And I
Do you reckon we just end it abruptly? Hold on, this is the last 1 minute.
Yeah, we don't have to fight 2 bells.
I have had some calls that are very awkward and people are like, clash.
I'm like, do you want to continue that conversation about me?
Maybe we should ask people how involved their partners have been on this wedding. So go over to our Instagram. We'll make sure that question is on there because we would love to know more about all of this stuff.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Anyway, let's make
you're
it a
talking
wrap.
too much.
First episode done. We hope you loved it, guys.
Yeah.
Next week we have got some juicy stuff.
We're talking about me, aren't we? All my wedding.
All of Georgie's weddings, her regrets. So the regrets of a wedding planner's wedding.
Do I have any?
And also as a guest, how I felt it went and what things that I
you
loved
liked?
and what I
As a
changed.
savage. What a
You
bitch.
actually noticed.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd been good for me to know, like, was this worth the effort?
Perfect. So we hope you enjoyed it. It was great. See you next week.
Every week this is happening. Be ready. Set an alarm.
Perfect. See you soon.
Bye.
Set an alarm.
Every week this is happening.
I didn't lie though, did I?
I can hear it in our voices. We're so different, aren't we?
And I think we're looking at each other being like, okay, bye then. Hope you listen. Please don't cancel us.
Oh, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 years.
What's sad, Brian, we need to figure out our date for our 2-year anniversary. But guys, I've got 2 more things I want to talk about.
Hopefully we're on tour.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, you will be. I think it was the 1st of February.
Oh, I don't know if we do one on the 1st of February.
What was the date? You literally just looked at it.
Did I? Oh, I don't know.
I'll say the date next to the episode.
Does it? All right, hold on.
Are we on tour?
I'm sure it's the 1st of... It's the beginning of February. So.
That's cool.
It was on the 1st of February.
Yeah, so
I don't think we've got a tour on the 1st.
We have.
We haven't.
I think you do.
We haven't.
We do.
We haven't.
Edinburgh. Heard it here first.
We haven't confirmed that date yet.
I put money on it. Edinburgh's going to be on the 1st.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Starting off in Scotland.
Scotland.
First time there as well.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, God's sake. You bloody Scottish lot.
Yeah.
We keep toying with are we going to Edinburgh or are we not? Because if I turn up in Edinburgh and there's one girl in a kilt, I'm going to kick off. Can Brian wear a kilt?
Yes.
He wore a kilt on his stag do and it was,
Sexy.
We need to bring back our Fridays, Brian, because that'll start it off.
Yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't go well for the summer.
What's next? What's next week? Our goals.
Saturdays? Oh, sorry, what? Next
Goals.
week is it? So does next week's episode come out on New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we'll be on our 2-year wedding anniversary. I'll tell you what present Brian bought me. Oh, his face looks scared. Forgot about that, didn't you? Problem is, with it being next to Christmas, I'm like, I need to get all these Christmas presents. And then one did it like in the middle of the night. I'm like, fuck. Need a anniversary. There are 2 more things I want to talk about. One is our hub.
The hub.
We were talking about community, but we have literally made a hub.
Yeah.
Where you guys can all talk to each other, and we've got big plans for it next year.
Yeah.
Like this start of this year was to kind of ease everyone in and like just start chatting. We've got plans next year. We're just going to make it all a little bit better, make it more of your like planning space and your safe space.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you need to say in that space, and what happens in the hub stays in the hub. So if you haven't seen the hub, go and have a look. It's basically a membership thing, so you can be there all of the months that you're planning, and then stay after if you want. But you know. Carry on. And then the second thing is how excited I am for our tours.
Guys, if you haven't got tickets yet, if there are any left, we don't know at this stage when we're recording this.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see you. We've absolutely thought so much about it.
Yeah.
From last year to this year. If you thought last year was good, then you're in for a freaking treat.
But we also want it to be authentic to last year. We want that same feel. Like it's a party, guys. It's the place you need to come to just be like, fuck all the wedding planning. I want to come and have a good time with a load of people that are doing the same thing as me. I want some inspo. I want to meet the girls. I just want to have a great night. And then the day after, you're like, right, okay, back to wedding planning. This is your chance to just forget everything and forget you've got the biggest day in your life coming up. It's to just let your hair down.
So we can't wait to see you. We can't wait to party with you. We can't wait to have fun with you. And we can't wait to share with you some really cool ideas and some really cool suppliers.
Yes.
So we'll catch you at the tour in February, start March.
Yeah. From the bottom of my heart, genuinely, thank you for listening to this podcast and being a part of this podcast, because I can't quite believe that we're at 100 episodes. I can't quite believe that we haven't even mentioned it, that we've hit 1 million downloads. Like it's so honestly so surreal to us.
Imagine 1 million people.
1 million listens to like 1 million poor people have had to listen to us 1 million times. That's so many.
Yep.
Neither of you are being proud enough for this.
Well, I am.
No, I need more.
Speechless, darling.
Speechless. Right, Brian, we want to see how you feel. I want your best voice. 1 million downloads.
Guys, it's
Try
amazing.
again.
No,
Try again.
Go.
Try again.
I'll do it again. 1 million downloads.
What?
Yeah! What did you say?
That's sick, bro.
No, what did you say at the thing? This is going to be so...
This is going to be so good.
Oh my God. We should get t-shirts with that made on. This is going to be so good. I want it one more time, Brian. Nice and clear in the microphone.
Oh my God. This is going to be so good.
Love it. That is... Oh, is that the title of our episode?
Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah?
this is so good. And I want that played over Brian's intro at the tour and everything.
Yeah.
Beth, do you have a final message to everybody?
Thank you. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for listening. Thank you to all the suppliers as well as all of you couples. You really make this so enjoyable for us. And we can't wait to take you on the next journey of the Unfiltered Bride.
The next 100 episodes.
The next 100 episodes, see what happens. I might be engaged. You
oh
never
my God,
know.
you could be married in 100 episodes.
I could be married, I could have a baby, who knows?
Oh my God.
Life could change, or I may have a new man or woman, who knows?
That would be quite the turn of events.
You turn. So you've got to stay tuned and you've got to keep along the journey.
If you want to know, this is the place to know.
But no, thank you for like loving us, that you genuinely adore us. And that's, again, really, really lovely.
Yes.
And thank you for
changing our lives.
Yeah,
you have. I'm just going to go off and cry now for a little bit.
I'm going to go eat my cold
cry
Burger
into
King.
my Burger King.
And enjoy the rest of your Christmas day if you're listening on Christmas Day. I hope you had an amazing day. If you didn't listen on Christmas, then you're not a real fan. You may as well not listen to the next 100 episodes.
I don't care if you got kids, put the podcast on in the background. I don't think we swore that much on this episode.
No.
This is a great Christmas morning episode.
But if not, I hope you had a lovely Christmas, and get in touch for next. Get in touch. Stay tuned for our goals.
Yes. So I'm about to get more serious now. For next week, I'm going to need you to have a notebook, a pen. I'm going to need you to come with a new kind of energy, because we're getting serious. You know how I feel about goals. You know how I feel about January 1st. You know how I feel about all of this sort of stuff. So I need you to be prepared to have your ass whooped Okay, but as Brian says, like and share, subscribe, all of that jazz.
And it's going to be so
Thank you to
good.
all of you guys. Thank you, Beth, for doing a podcast with me every week.
Oh, thank you, Brian, for...
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian, for Georgie. I've got no thanks for you.
That's a lie.
Thank you for being funny and carrying the podcast.
No, I would like to end this by saying we have fully evened out. I'm not going to lie, the first couple of episodes, I had to support a little more. And then Beth you've found yourself. You found yourself.
I'm just not as funny as you, but
you
I'm okay.
are.
Okay.
Next year, that's your goal.
I'm cooler than you, so it's all right. I'm not bothered. Cool. Next year's goal on your goals is I'm going to be a cool mum.
I am a cool mum.
I know, but that just sounded better.
But I want to be cool out of the context of being a mum.
Yeah, you are cool. You are way cooler than what you used to be.
Good. Having looked at the dress I was wearing in that
and
other
your
one,
fashion sense has become...
And you're getting funnier. We're rubbing off on each other.
We're going to merge into
you
one
will
in the
see
end.
garden games at her wedding if it is the death of me.
Never, ever, ever. Okay, love you.
Love you guys so much. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.